Hey guys, here's some very exciting news, very exciting developments in the ongoing my journey into real fights. I'm having a lot of fun doing the movie fights, by the way. You gotta check out all these projects. Last Kumite teaser trailer drops in 2 weeks. Full trailer will be out early next year. Warrior Island, the premiere is November 11th. If you're in the New York area, go to the Urban Action Showcase. You can see that next Saturday. And then, of course, Bloodstorm. I don't know when that's going to come out yet. It is in post-production. We finished principal photography. But anyway, long story short, really having fun doing the movie fights. And now it's time for the real thing, man. And I have a UFC fighter, an ex-UFC fighter who had recently called me out on Instagram. And I'll read you the message. And let me know in the comments, should I take this fight? Because it'll be an easy fight. I'll tell you why in this video. But I almost feel sorry for the guy, but I should probably just take it anyway to shut down a lot of the doubters. And this would really kind of help build up some momentum and add some legitimacy to me at the very least. So anyway, let me read you the post. Oh, this is from Nam Fan, by the way, who's got his own martial arts school out in California. And he's fought in a lot of MMA fights, a lot of UFC fights. Gosh, this phone blows up all day. A lot of UFC fights, also pro boxing. And this is going to be a boxing event, which I'll talk about in the video. But anyway, he said, LOL. So there's a guy called the Real Viking Samurai. Follow me on Instagram, by the way, Real Viking Samurai. This guy called out former UFC champion Mike Bisping because he made fun of former Kumite champion Frank Dux, saying that he's a phony. Yes, that is true, and that is exactly why I called out Mike Bisping. Some people don't know that. They think I'm just some jerk who called out a dude with one eye. We got to remember that dude with one eye beat a lot of great people with one eye, because people will say, oh, it's not fair, you're going to destroy him, he can't even see in one eye. It's like, but the guy's still a fighter, man. He's got a lot of experience, you know. It won't be as lopsided as people think. On either way, some people think he doesn't have a chance, and of course people think I don't have a chance. Either way, the fight wouldn't be lopsided. And just remember, I didn't just randomly call the guy out. He shit all over Frank Dux. I'm probably the only guy on the internet, at least with a YouTube channel that is of some size, you know, that defends Frank Dux, because I think Frank Dux is a good guy, and I do think his background, there is some legitimate truth there. And I do think he's a talented martial artist. And I wanted to find out myself what, if anything, he has to teach. So it was going to be, that was going to be part of how it was related to Bisping. It's like, let's just find out together, man. Now, of course, it would be a boxing match. So the bulk of the camp would be with former two-time heavyweight champ Tim Witherspoon, which I'm taking this fight thing very serious because I am starting my preliminary training camp next week, going out to Philly, which isn't that far from New York, where I'm going to be out there at the Urban Action Showcase. So I'm going to be in that area anyway and just spend a lot more time out there with Tim Witherspoon as a prelim camp, and then early next year do, you know, another camp, all leading up into a fight. And there's a couple of different possibilities here for a fight, a couple different options. So just remember, get the full story. The reason why I called out Bisping, it wasn't just some random thing, you know. He was like the right guy because of the Frank Dux thing. Plus, he's kind of a jerk. Like, I would never call out a respectful guy like GSP. That's a true legend, you know, and obviously he proved that against the Bisping fight, coming in at a smaller guy who, GSP was retired, he was smaller, came in, wiped the floor with Bisping, and that's why GSP is the GOAT in many ways. He's now, that's a legend, but he's too respectful for anyone to call out. He's too nice a guy, right? Same with someone like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Too nice. Like, nobody should call a guy out like that. But somebody like Bisping, the guy, like, that's the kind of guy people want to call out because he's the jerk. He's usually the jerk. And he shit all over Frank Dux. So anyway. And then Nam Fan says, so the Viking Samurai guy who has absolutely no professional fights is going to be trained by Bloodsport Kumite champion himself, Frank Dux. And they're going to have a boxing match to show that Frank Dux is the real deal. Frank Dux will be involved in the training in the camp if it's with Bisping, because Bisping's the one that shit over Frank Dux, says he's the biggest fraud, so we will prove Bisping wrong if Bisping is not afraid to take that fight. So me and him were having a lot of fun back and forth on Twitter, by the way, and he even had tweeted and made fun of me, and those got a lot of engagement, and I was tweeting back, and he blocked me. It's like, what a coward punk move, dude. It's like, he blocked me on Twitter, you know. He ran away to his safety zone like those wusses in college these days. Oh, I can't hear something. Let me run away, you know, so I can't, God forbid I should hear this. Like, dude, just fucking be a man. You know, you should listen to all kinds of criticism, good and bad, instead of running away and hiding in your basement like Joe Biden. And then Nam says, he thinks I'm too small for him, and it wouldn't be fair because I'm too small. Okay, so that part is actually true, which I'll address. Nam said, I told him that it wouldn't be fair for me to fight him because he's not a fighter, and I have quadruple the amount of actual fight experience that he has. So I believe Nam Fan competed at 140 or 145 in the UFC. Now, obviously, these guys cut massive amounts of weight because I think he walks around at 165, whereas I walk around more at like 185. So I'll agree a little bit with Michael Jai White that obviously size matters quite a bit, you know, not just to women, but in fighting as well. So I'll agree with Michael Jai White in that respect. And I hate the idea of fighting someone smaller because I've only fought guys bigger. I was always that small kid growing up, which is why I started lifting weights and taking martial arts in the first place. But I don't like the idea of fighting somebody smaller, to be honest. Now, there are advantages for the smaller fighter. For example, he's harder to hit. He should be faster. I don't think Nam's going to be faster, but he should be because he's smaller. So to make the fight at least fair for him, like, I could cut down, hard cut at, you know, to like make 170, and then he could just be like at his normal weight, 165, maybe even, you know, deviate from his diet a little bit and get up to 170. So at least we could both technically come in the fight, or at least the weigh-in, at 170, which wouldn't be bad. That'd at least be fair for him. He was talking about how he has tons of karate tournament experience. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that's more taekwondo experience, though, back in the day. But whatever, people interchange the two. I told him that doesn't even count, which most people say it doesn't. That's why I don't really talk about it, because nobody gives a shit about that. And he said, I would still mess you up even with the weight advantage. He disagrees, which I've already addressed. So if everyone could do me a favor and post his Instagram for me, that would be great, because all my fight buddies know that a regular guy with no experience versus a pro fighter has no chance, no matter the size. So I am not exactly a regular guy. And if you even see this picture here, I even commented, you know, when you build a physique like this naturally, it speaks volumes of the dedication, the discipline, and everything else. But if there's enough interest and enough doubters of me in this supposed match, then I'll have to prove people wrong. It'll be bad news for Nam Fan, but me and him could always be friends afterwards, right? Why not? So let me know in the comments what you guys think, and check out the Instagram, because there's a lot of back and forth. In fact, I'll read some of the comments for fun right here. Jens Capper said, just the fact that his body looks this pretty assures me that he couldn't even defeat a paper wall. Feed him to CM Punk. CM Punk got embarrassed in the UFC, didn't he? That wouldn't even be a fight, man. Anyway, I replied, I got the performance to match the looks. And then, of course, Nam Fan says, what performance? You've never fought, buddy. You'll see, Nam. I feel sorry for you, though, man. I do think... I'll tell you what you should put on the line. I think if this, like, YouTuber who's got no real fights beats you, which I plan to knock you out by the end of the third round, by the way, I think you should retire. I think you should just give it up for good. I say you put that on the line, man. And I'll be doing you a favor, honestly, because I think it's about time to hang up the gloves. Oh, what is it? The guy Mike Seal. Brother Nam, I am an old teammate of Leonard Garcia. You're wasting your time with this compulsive liar, gave the Viking. Dude can't even form a sentence, man. He says he is trying to leverage fighter clout to break into the film industry. Dude, I've already broken into the film industry, man. I've already shot my third film. I got another one scheduled soon. I'm not trying to do this to break into the film industry, though I do think they work hand in hand. The bigger the films, the bigger the fights, the bigger the fights, the bigger the films. I know exactly what I'm doing, dude. Anyway, he said, which he was blacklisted from 20 years. Blacklisted from 20 years ago from, what are you talking about? Like, what the fuck's this dude talking about? He just wants attention and will never fight anyone. He has a child who is still being taken care of by his parents financially. What the fuck are these people talking about, dude? Like, I am a stockbroker before any of this. Let's see. So regardless of how delusional he may sound, he's not slow enough to actually come out and play. He's a waste of time. P.S. If you were colliding with him because you're interested in film, let me know and I'll try to help. Okay, whatever. Yeah, if this guy could help Nam get in a film, cool. You know, if that's what Nam wants to do. So I don't even know where, like, people come up with this shit, man. I hear the most ridiculous things, like, that I'm a trust fund baby, that I paid to have all my guests on the show, that I don't even train martial arts, that, what are some other crazy stuff? Oh, that I bought all my subscribers, like, all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, like, whatever, man. Oh, New York Queen said, Nam has no chance against the real Viking Samurai. He's too frail compared to the RVS. Overhead to the temple and it's over. Yeah, that is true. And Tim is the ultimate guy to teach the overhand right. I think I could knock out Nam just with the jab, to be honest, though, man. Orange County Grappling said, some people can learn from the mistakes of others. Others need to learn from their own mistakes. In this case, it sounds like there's a low probability you can save him from himself. Survival of the fittest expresses itself in many ways. You know what? I have to take this fight, dude. Like, I have to prove these people wrong, man. And it's only going to build up to the next fight. So getting, like, an ex-UFC fighter on my resume where I'll have that for boxing be 1-0 with one knockout, that is not a bad thing at all. So, yeah, I got to do it, man. Johnny Smoes said, make it happen. Everyone wants to see this. So I think there'll at least be enough people that would be interested, no doubt, man. Anyway, there's so many comments on that post, and especially the one that I posted on my Instagram. So many, man. So go ahead and check out the Instagram and comment there too. And of course, comment on this video. So the fight, it will be boxing. I will actually be sparring professional boxers in Philly as part of my training, because people say, oh, I want to see sparring. I want to see sparring. You need to spar. It's like, of course I'm going to spar. Like, why the hell wouldn't I, dude? Like, come on, man. Like, I'm taking the fight very serious. So I'm going to get all the proper training. And part of the thing is, so look, it's about more than me. It's about the legends of boxing like Tim Witherspoon proving that these guys still have a lot of value and wisdom. You know, they have so much to teach. You can have amazing training with them, and I'm going to prove that after I knock out some of these pro fighters.